Hey everybody, Vader Saber 1984, also known as that drunk guy and his bullshit opinion. It's been a while. Here I am. Been about 2 months since I've actually been able to make one of these because number one, it's been really busy, and number two, it's been really cold. And normally I do this when I'm out on the porch, and I can drink and smoke and talk shit and be irate and retarded. Well, it's still cold. As you can see, I got my beanie and my long sleeve and my 3 layers. Looks like I just got out of jail, doesn't it? Yeah, old school. All right. Before we get into anything, just want to say Merry Christmas to everybody. Hope you had a good one, and Happy New Year, since it's right around the corner. I, for one, don't partake in Christmas. I'm a Grinch. I try and be nice to those that love it and care about it, but me particularly. It's a Hallmark holiday, all about money, and the spirit of Christmas is lost. It's not the same as it was when I was a kid, and so on and so whatnot. So, but that's not what today's about. Today is going to be about just music, all right? And this isn't going to be local artists or friends of mine or anything like that. This is just, I picked out 3 bands who I grew up listening to that I love, who are still together to this day. And they all have had brand new albums come out within the past few months. So, did my time. I listened to every single song. I gave it my ratings. And I will break into these 3 bands. So, for any of you that like Blue October, like Matchbox 20, or like Buckcherry, that's what this is going to be about. So, in ordinary fashion, go ahead and grab yourself a drink. I got 2. Grab yourself a smoke. Grab onto your butts, your balls, your boobs, whatever the hell you got, because here we go. All right. As you can see, I'm not taking any cuts. I'm just going right at it. I prepared a little bit for this one. And it's been a while, so I should be ready and eager to voice my opinion. Now, the order of my choosing is based off of the order of my favorite bands. I'll have a little bit more grief to give one of them than I will the other, and we'll just go from there. So, first of all, let's go Blue October. Now, they did an album called Spinning the Truth, Part 1, which I enjoyed. Not as much as a lot of the other albums, but I did enjoy, a handful of songs. This one was Spinning the Truth Part 2. My buddy was telling me, you gotta listen to it, man. It's good, man. You'll like it. And I listened to all 13 songs. I really did. And honestly, I can say Down Here Waiting was almost good. Goodbye to the Old Days was probably one of my more liked songs. Slow Down, you actually get to hear Justin use his powerful vocals in that one. And I was like, oh, there he is. And, but the rest of the song, I was like, eh. But Bay Oak Street, I think, was probably the best song off of that. Had a lot of meaning. But out of those 13 songs, I can only say that there are 4 that I legitimately kind of enjoyed. Everything with that album just, to me, sounded the same. The same tempo and his vocals, for the exception of Slow Down and Bay Oak, it was just the same sound of his voice. Like he had an echo filter. And I was like, man, it just, everything was very, like, morose. It didn't have a lot of oomph to it, you know? So, overall, out of the entire album, I gotta give it maybe, out of a 5 stars, I'll probably give it a 2.5. You know, sorry, O'Neal. I know that's your band and you just got to meet them and all that stuff, and that's great, but it just wasn't that great of an album to me. Everything sounded the same. Secondly, let's go to Matchbox 20, and oh boy. I've been a Matchbox 20 fan since 95, 96. And this album that's titled Where the Light Goes, I'm sorry, but out of 12 songs, where the fuck is the rock music? Where is it? I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck is this? Did y'all lose your balls? Like, are y'all pop music now? I mean, obviously pop music is popular, and this shit ain't ever going to be popular. Just saying. But 12 songs, and I think that there was only one good song off that album that I was like, okay. And it's one that it was called Friends. I enjoyed that one. And then the second one was not even a song that Rob sang. It's the one that his guitarist Kyle Cook sang, and it's called I Know Better. And I liked that one because it didn't sound like all the other ones, you know. Hang On, I was like, I could like this, but it sounds like he's just taken off another album from the original, and just kind of like, well, let's do this, and using the same concept of that song lyrically. And so overall, I was like, I'm sure there's meaning to what and why he wrote and everything, but it was just like, there's no fucking rock. You're an alternative rock band, or you were. You have great musicians, even though you took the midget from the drum kit who's badass and put him on a guitar. Yeah. But anywho, so 3 songs at best were decent. And I think I Know Better was the only good song, and that was by Kyle Cook, or sang by Kyle Cook. So out of that album, and I am a huge Matchbox 20 album, I've been waiting on an album for a long time to come out, and this was just a complete fucking letdown. So I'm gonna have to give it 2 stars. I'm not saying it was piss poor terrible, but 2 stars, because it was just like, nothing made me tap my foot, nothing made me beat my head, nothing made me feel like, all right. I was just like, what the fuck is this, boys? What'd you do? Did you lose your balls? Oh, fucking annoying with that shit, you know? And that's a band I've followed and I've seen live, and I try and keep up with them, and I was just like, good God. But we'll save the best for last. And as most everybody knows, I do not pull punches or hold back when it comes to being a negative Nancy about something that I enjoy. Whether it be music, wrestling, politics, skateboarding, whatever it is that I enjoy. But down to one of my other all-time favorite bands, Buckcherry. I have followed them since '99. And I gotta tell you, this album called Volume 10, even though they've released 11 albums, but one album was just a cover album, but still, they put covers on almost everything. Anyways, it's called Almost Good, or excuse me, Volume 10. It has 11 songs on it. Now, the song that I guess is more played is called Good Time. And I have a good time. And I'm sitting there like, is this just like Too Drunk to Fuck, but in your own lyrics? Because honestly, it sounded watered down, like really bad. I was like, the lyrics are just very repetitive and just line, line, chorus. Line, line, chorus. Line, line, chorus. Solo. Chorus, done. What the fuck? Ugh. But yeah, it just, even that song didn't have a decent chorus. It was okay, but it didn't have a decent chorus to me. I was, in all due honesty, I'm like, oh God, and this is the first song off the album? You gotta be shitting me. First or second. But moving on, let's see. Out of all 11 songs, I believe, 11 songs, yeah, I only enjoyed one. Only enjoyed one song, and it was called Pain. Because the rest of the album, Josh Todd's vocals sounded like they were mechanically enhanced or auto-tuned with like a robotic sound behind them. And he's already whiny and raspy when he sings anyway. So you put the robotic sound on there and it just sounds like that going through a metal hallway. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? That album literally feels and sounds like Josh Todd is running out of lyrics. I mean, you could honestly pick up a lyric from another album or something, or like it was touching on and was just kind of put together. Like the flows of all the songs just don't match to the music. Like lyrically, it's like da 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 da, but the music behind it's like woo, going. And I gotta give credit where credit's due. This is probably the best solos that they've had on an album since forever. But the lyrics just aren't throwing a good vibe. It's like riff, beat, bad lyrics, or like you gave it to his kids and said, "Hey, here's a title. Write me a song about this." That's just how it feels. It's like there's no fun, there's no meaning or no passion. In his lyrics, like in the first 4 or 5 albums that they did, great lyrics, fucking amazing. And on the side note is they usually do a cover song every few albums, okay? This one had a cover of Summer of '69, which has been done by, quite a few people, but honestly, I gotta say, they did a good cover of it. It wasn't, they made it up in their own version. They just rocked it, and it sounded good with everything. Let's go back. I think it was off of War Paint. They did Closer from 9 Inch Nails. And I saw them do it live, and I was like, no, fuck no. And they put it on the album, and I was like, oh, you God blessed. Are you serious? Totally butchered Closer. It was terrible. But like when they did Too Drunk to Fuck off of I guess it was off of The Black Butterfly, it was fucking amazing. I loved it. It was a cover. It was great. But overall, there was only one song on that entire album that I was like, all right, this is good. I like this. And it was Pain, because Josh didn't sound robotic, and you could tell that there were more emotions and more feeling in that song in his writing. But I do got to give credit to the two guitarists, Stevie D and the other, I guess I'll call him a scab, because Josh likes to fire all of his fucking musicians that are amazing. they did a really good job at solos on this album. Really good, man. They sounded crisp, they sounded clean, they were hard, they were heavy. It's just the lyrics didn't match up, really. So to me, out of that album, for Buckcherry, which is volume 10, I gotta give that a 1.5. I mean, it hurts me so bad to say that. And the only reason it got a 1.5 was because of that one song, and the solos were really good. For instance, if you were to go to like the original in '99, yeah, the band was just coming out and they were good, but the lyrics meant shit, and it was rocking, and it was kind of punk. Time Bomb, probably one of my favorite albums they ever did. That was amazing. Then 15 came out in '05. Then Black Butterfly came out in 2008, and it was like, okay, you're getting a little lovey-dovey, whatever. And then All Night Long came out. It was kind of more of a party album, and it was decent. Confessions came out, and I was like, somebody going religious? Like, every name of every song is like biblically about like the 7 deadly sins and shit. I mean, it wasn't my favorite, but it was okay. I think the second album, because it was 2-disc album, second album was better, or second disc. And then after Confessions, they came out with Fuck, the Fuck You album, which was the last album they were all together before Josh fired everybody but Stevie D, which is a guitar player. They got rid of Keith, they got rid of Fingers, they got rid of Xavier on the drums, and they were fucking amazing. They made such good music. And after Fuck, everybody left, I think. And or maybe it was after Rock and Roll came out. I think they left during Rock and Roll. But that was like 2015, and Rock and Roll was like, maybe, kinda, but something's not right. Something's not right. You can tell. And then War Paint came out in 19, and it only had like 2 or 3 good songs. And you could kind of hear that mechanical shit that came out on this album, on 10. And then Hellbound came out, and they only had 2 songs that were decent. And then Volume 10 now, and I only know 1 song off this whole fucking album that's worth a goddamn. It's just... It's sad to say all of my favorite bands, the older they get, the shittier their music is getting. And it's not because I'm getting older, because I can listen to their old album and still be like, yeah, that's still pimp. That's badass. But I go to this new stuff and I'm like, just like Matchbox 20, who cut off your balls, lyrically. As a writer, I know it takes a lot to come up with new shit, new material, especially if you're doing it on mainstream. But I give Buckcherry due credit. They are a traveling band, and that's how they make their money, is off of traveling and doing live shows. And I'll still go up on the stand with my hand on the Bible and say they still put on one of the best concerts I've ever seen. Them, Papa Roach, Godsmack, and I could go on and on about live bands that just do great stuff, but still great live bands. But their albums are starting to suck so bad that if they come to town, I don't think I would want to go. And on top of that, one of my favorite bands is coming to town in a few months, and that is Social Distortion. Can't wait for that. So, all right. But yeah, Social D's coming, and I'm really looking forward to that. Even though, there's been an illness, and Mike Ness, had throat cancer, and he's fighting through that. And listen here, you 4-legged bitch. I will punt kick you in the house. You better stop that. I'm recording. Anyways, so it'll be good to see him live. It's probably going to be the first live show I've seen in a while. next to going to the Ritz concert for O'Neill. But looking forward to it. So Social D coming to see you at the amphitheater here in Lubbock. So that, my friends, is 20 minutes of me talking about 3 bands, 3 new albums that came out, and I'm just like, you got to be shitting me, man. All the years I put in, all the money y'all have, and this is what you fucking give me? Really? I mean, Matchbox 20, 3 decent songs. Blue October, 2. Buckcherry, 1. That's sad. You guys need to get out of California or wherever the hell you're living, and you need to get out there and start singing about real shit and rock again, because I'm telling you, this politically correct and 3rd grade poetry shit ain't cutting it. Not Blue October. He was poetically amazing, but there's no band behind him. There's no rock. Everything was just melancholy and morose, and I'm like, man, I love a sad fucking song, but where the hell's the rock? You know? You gotta have at least something on there, not a whole album full of fucking ballads. Like Matchbox 20's was. Anyways. Thanks for hearing me rant. I know it's been a long time. I'll try and keep up, but, you know, winter's probably going to be over pretty soon, you know, within a few weeks, and then we'll get a real winter. That usually comes about February. But anyways, as always, Vader Saber 1984, also known as a drunk guy and his bullshit opinion. That's all this is a drunk opinion, even though I'm not drunk yet. I need to be. But Happy New Year, fuckers.